What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Mushu here, giving you a quick overview of my Uber Lilith build that I defeated her with in about 2 minutes or so. We're going to start off with the gear, then we'll go into the Spirit Booms, Paragon Board, the whole 9 yards. So to start off, we got the Tempest Roar. Now the Tempest Roar is going to make our Storm skills, Werewolf skills. It's best in slot item for Uber Lilith. We're going to move on to the Mad Wolf's Glee. This is going to make our Werewolf skills get +3. So now our Storm skills merge with our Werewolf skills. They're going to get a bonus on all of that. And now Werewolf is our true form, which is also going to go into our skills. You're going to get movement speed and a whole lot of things from that. We're going to move on to the gloves. For the gloves, you want to roll crit strike chance as well as ranks to tornado. And for this aspect, we're going to use the tornado seeks up to 3 targets. For your pants, you just want damage reduction, armor, things like that. I got disobedience on these, and for all my gems I chose max life just because it kind of procs better than the fortify with the sapphires and things like that. I didn't really see the point of using those. We're gonna move on to boots. Now for your boots, you want to get evade charges because her blast waves basically can one-shot you, so the more charges you have, the better chance you will have of evading them, as well as you want to have some movement speed. So those are your key items that you want to have on your boots. And for the imprint, we have Hurricane gets +2 to all shapeshifting skills because we're already shapeshift. Everything's gonna get more bonus stats off that. For your single hand weapon, your usual things, your vulnerables, your crit strike damage. We're using the accelerating because we want our crit strike chances to our crit strikes rather to increase our attack speed. All right. From there, we're gonna go on to the offhand. Now the offhand, you want to roll crit strike chance. And anything with spirit cost reduction or resource gen, just because Hurricane will give you resource back and things of that nature. Here we're going to be using the Rampaging Werebeast, and as everybody knows, it increases your Grizzly Rage by 5 seconds, and then on top of that, it's going to give you crit strike damage by 10% for each second. So it's going to basically multiply out as it gets higher and higher. From there, we're going to move on to the amulet. Now the amulet, we're going to use the Direwolf's necklace. You want ranks of toxic close. I think that's the most important thing you need here. And movement speed is not bad to have on this either. And then any other stat, I got dex and strength, so it's pretty good there. This is basically the Direwolf aspect is going to basically give you spirit cost reduction. And it's going to help you nuke her really fast and get your tornadoes out without spending too much spirit. Alrighty, and here we're going to be using the Barber Heart. Now, we're not using a 2-second Barber just because with Uber Lilith, if you kill her a little too fast in certain health stages, she kind of glitches out and starts doing different mechanics. So I chose the 4-second one because it allows her to go through all her attack animations in the beginning, as you'll see when I fight her in a little bit, and it'll allow you to then nuke her to bring out the minions only once, and she doesn't go through all her crazy waves and start glitching out. So I chose a 4-second Barber. I tried a 2-second one, but I was having a lot of issues with that. For our rings, kind of the same thing as everybody else's range. You want crit strike chance, vulnerable damage if you got it. I got damage to close and crit strike damage to werewolf skills. I think those don't really matter. For your imprint, you want damage while standing still. The higher the better. I had an 8% roll. I finally got a 9% roll, but this is gonna stack really fast. When you enter her on your phase 1, if you just start standing still and you kind of know where to stand, I'll show again when I fight her in a little bit. You'll see where I stand, and it'll start proccing on your status bar at the bottom. You'll see the number going up, and basically what that'll do for you is before she even gets onto the battlefield, you're already having to multiply it to your damage. So by the time she comes out, your tornadoes are already hitting her for more damage. For this heart, we're using the core skills cost life while you're above 60% life, which is why we also have the ruby gems. So you're gonna see me constantly pop potions just to keep that 60% going. That way I'm costing my life versus my spirit. And then for all the skills that I'm using, which would be the tornado, they do increase damage. For our next ring, same kind of stats, you're looking for a crit strike chance and all that. But here we're gonna have your core skills deal 34% increased damage based on the amount of fortify you have. And for the heart, we're gonna be using, you gain 85% crit strike damage, but your non-crits deal 40% less. The reason this is so important is because we're going to be critting all the time with this build. So I'm going to go real quick into my stat board, and you'll see my base stats. We have 35% attack speed, 55% crit strike chance, right? So now that's not like super high, but we'll be using it in conjunction with this elixir right here. So you add the 15%, on top of that 55%, it'll give you around 70%. So basically we'll be critting all the time, and then this crit strike damage is going to go from 395 when you're in Grizzly Rage to like 1,000 something. It's It's kind of crazy. All right. For spirit bones, for the deer, we're going to be using 10% reduced damage from elites. I chose to go double here on the deer. We're going to do crit strike chance. Like I said, it's going to work very well with the barber. And attack speed. Attack speed is really important. You want to get your tornadoes out as fast as possible. For the wolf, we're going to go with calamity. And for the snake, we're going to be the calm before the storm. You're just trying to get your ultimate back because that's what you need basically to get her through her phases as fast as possible. Alrighty. Now for the skill tree. For the skill tree, I chose to go with Wind Shear over Storm Strike. As you'll see in the video, when the ads spawn, they kind of have like a buffer where they don't really take damage. So you want to stand as close to the edge as possible to bait Lilith's waves and her circle triangle wave pattern. And when all the ads are coming towards you, if you're running out of resource, you can just hit them with Wind Shear from afar without moving. That way you're still getting that damage modifier from standing still. And on top of that, you're actually getting your resource back since this is a generator. Pretty simple here. Ranks of Tornado. We're choosing the Raging Tornado here for the vulnerable. I didn't spec anything into this because I noticed that you don't need it, and it was costing me too much spirit to do the damage that it was giving me. So you don't really need it for this build. Here, critical strike chance against close enemies increased by 6%. So that's also going to add to that the stats that are on the board. So I'm at 50%. When they're right in front of me, it's going to be 56 plus the elixir. You see where we're going with this. Ranks of movement speed when you're a werewolf form. Here you're going to have damage reduction by using your defensive skills, which we're going to be proccing them. For Bloodhowl, you want the attack speed because it's going to combine with the other attack speed. So you're going to get 15% with this, plus the other 10%, I believe, from the boons, and then whatever attack speed you have on your gear. So you're going to be basically hitting tornadoes super fast, which is going to help, obviously. Debilitating Roar, we're using this because of our key passive. We'll talk about that later. And as well as it gives you Fortify, which is going to give us that 30-something percent, 40% off that aspect. For here, just in case she's far away or she's slowed, which we're also going to get from Debilitating Roar with this, you're going to be doing 9% increased damage to them. And then you double it, so 18% increased damage if they're slowed. Here's pretty simple stuff. Storm skills have a chance, which is going to be all our skills. Hurricane lasting longer. Our Hurricane, we're going to have 15% chance to make enemies vulnerable. For here, this is what I said was the most important thing. Critical strikes with werewolf skills, which we're going to be critting all the time. You're going to deal a percentage of that as poison as well. So this is why you want Toxic Claws on your amulet, because now you have 45%, which if you had just the 3, I mean, I don't know if it's doable without it, but I'd rather have the higher number here. And Venom, and then your basic things. Now, Bestial Rampage, which you're going to do when you fight Lilith, you're going to pop your Debilitating Roar. So it's going to give you your Werebear. So as you see right here, after being a Werebear for 2.5 seconds, you're going to deal 30% increased damage. But what's going to happen is you're going to go from Werebear and then you're going to go into a Werewolf. So now your attack speed is going to get increased again. So you're going to get 25% attack speed plus your Bloodhowl plus everything else. And your attack speed is going to be through the roof. So when you fight Lilith and you enter her arena, and basically pop Debilitating Roar, wait for it to proc on your bar. Once it procs, you can do your Howl, your Hurricane, and then go into your ultimate and start flinging tornadoes, and she's basically going to get nuked. Paragon board, it's very simple. Our starting node here is going to be Tracker. I'll just give it a second so you can analyze it. I also have the D4 planner that's going to be in the comment section or in the description. Make sure to put that there. So you're going to have Tracker as your first one. You're going to go up into Ancestral Guidance legendary board. You're going to pick up Ancestral Guidance. For here, you're going to be using Fang and Claw. We're going to Thunderstruck after that, and you're going to be using Spirit for critical strike damage, obviously. This is why critical strike damage is so high. From there, you're going to go into Constricting Tendrils, and you're going to use the Outmatch Glyph. From there, you're going to move over into Lust for Carnage. And on that glyph, you're going to be using Earth and Sky. And then for our last and final one, you're going to use Heightened Malice and then your Exploit glyph right here for your vulnerable. And that's basically it. I'm going to fight it real quick just to show you guys everything in action, all right? So again, you're going to pop Debilitating Roar. I'm going to wait for it to proc on my board. It just procced. Here's the Rage. And you see how I'm already standing. She's dropping in, and now I'm doing damage to her. She's going through her phases. She's still going to strike me. I make sure I keep my health potions up. And when she comes back down for the second wave here, she should basically be dead. And what we're going to do is want to walk away, stand at the edge of the ring so that her minions come out. This is the part where you need evades to basically dodge the incoming damage from... Oh, I died. Well, you get the gist here. I'll fight her again and show you guys it in full motion. One more thing I forgot to pop was our elixir, but it's alright. Now you're going to see it in action. Debilitating Roar is going to pop up on the bar. We go into our rotation and begin the attack. And now you'll see a big difference now that I pop the elixir. The elixir, by the way, you get from the Hell Tide. As you see when she comes back down. She is nuke. Make sure you're baiting those waves right there because they will mess you up. Oh man, sometimes she doesn't move the way you want her to move. There is a little bit of RNG to this fight, but for the most part, you should be able to get it to her phase too. Again, Debilitating Roar. Basically the same pattern every time. See, she comes back down. So I use Wind Shear here just to get some resource up. She'll continue her wave pattern if you don't kill the ads. So you just got to be wary of that part of the fight. She might be glitched right now, I'm not even sure. I think she is glitched. So you'll see that now she's going into this weird wave pattern. So she's a little tricky boss just because there's glitches like this. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe and run it back. A lot of RNG. Just don't give up. You have about like 45 minutes on one of those elixirs. So as long as you follow the format, you should be all right. Debilitating Roar. All of everything. And begin to nuke. So there's a lot of RNGs, kind of like you gotta get the right. So this is gonna be a good one right here. So as soon as she comes down, she's gonna be dead. She'll only pop the 3 minions versus the 2. Get out of the way. Let your tornadoes do what they do. She's going to do another wave pattern here because she's glitched like that. And you just dodge again. Like I said, there's a lot of RNG to this. You want to stand around right here and wait for her blood pool to spawn. Then you're going to Debilitating Roar. And basically start casting tornadoes before she spawns. That way when she spawns, she already gets hit by them and she'll hopefully skip her phases. Not always guaranteed, but as you can see right here, she is going to skip them. No blood blisters either. You just fight like that. Once that little bit of things passes by, those fire things on the floor, then you come back into the zone. If you don't, they will one-tap you. Again, you just stand still, let her come in. She's just going to go through her motion, so it's going to be always this side of the map, and then it's going to be this side of the board. Last thing you need to do on the final board, and I'll show that, is you have to actually dodge because she will one-tap you again. There's certain things that she does that will one-tap you, and I'll show that in a second. So now we're on the final board, and you're going to run it in a big circle. Because she's going to spawn these lines on the floor like that, and you have to dodge them. If not, you will die. I think she does 4. She'll spawn little blood blisters, and that's all she wrote. Signing off, guys. Good luck. Send me a like, subscribe. Let me know if you beat her. Hope this helps.